Good morning and welcome to Spiritualist Desert Church Sunday service. If you're joining us via Zoom, please remember that we have everybody muted throughout the service as we record it for posting on our YouTube channel. And if you're viewing us on YouTube and would like a Zoom invitation to join us live in the future, please send us an email request and we will send that to you. Thank you again for joining us today. We want to welcome everyone here physically on Zoom this morning, all of those watching later on YouTube, and especially all of those who have joined us today from the spirit side of life. My name is Jen Rawson, and I will be your chairperson for today. I'm a trustee on the board of Spiritualist Desert Church, and I co-chair the pastoral committee with Louise Barkdahl, and I'm also an NSAC ordained minister. Joining us in our service today will be the Reverend Sharon Watson, who will be delivering our sermon and spirit readings, and Louise Barkdahl will be leading our healing meditation. Lynn Collier and Alice Robertson are our Zoom moderators for this morning's service. If you would please join me now, we will open our service with an invocation. Please join me now. Infinite intelligence, we direct our thoughts in this hour we are together, asking that your spirit permeate our souls with love, harmony, peace, and joy of communing with like-minded people. We ask that our service be blessed with only the highest of knowledge and that it be given in accordance with our understanding so that we may continue to go forward and use spiritualism's teaching in our daily lives. Amen. Spiritualist Desert Church is a chartered member of the National Spiritualist Association of Churches, headquartered in Lilydale, New York. Our NSAC Spiritualist Manual provides us with the definitions of our religion, and I would like to share those definitions with you now. Spiritualism is the science, philosophy, and religion of continuous life based upon the demonstrated fact of communication by means of mediumship with those who live in the spirit world. Spiritualism is a science because it investigates, analyzes, and classifies facts and manifestations demonstrated from the spirit side of life. Spiritualism is a philosophy because it studies the laws of nature, both on the seen and unseen sides of life, and bases its conclusions upon present observed facts. It accepts statements of observed facts of past ages and conclusions drawn therefrom, when sustained by reason and by results of observed facts of the present day. Spiritualism is a religion because it strives to understand and to comply with the physical, mental, and spiritual laws of nature, which are the laws of God. A spiritualist is one who believes, as the basis of his or her religion, in the communication between this and the spirit world by means of mediumship, and who endeavors to mold his or her character and conduct in accordance with the highest teaching derived from such communication. As spiritualists, we have no dogmas or creeds, but we do have 9 principles that we strive to live by. Please join me now in declaring these principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. Excellent. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, the Reverend Sharon Watson from Florida. Sharon is an ordained minister, certified medium, commissioned healer, and national spiritualist teacher, credentialed through the NSAC. She is the president of the NSAC NST Club and secretary-treasurer for the NSAC Ministerial Association, the Licentiate Ministers and Certified Medium Society, and the Spiritualist Healers League. She is also both a member and an examiner for the Morris Pratt Institute, coincidentally, my grader when I went through Morris Pratt. And in addition, she's one of our valued frontline service workers in her role as a registered nurse. Please join me in welcoming back the Reverend Sharon Watson to Spiritualist Desert Church.
Thank you, Jen. Well, today I want to talk to you about love. Don't check your calendars, it's not February. However, when I was looking up the feeling or the definition of love, it was a strong feeling of affection and concern towards another person as that arising from kinship or close friendship. It was listed as a noun and also a verb. The verb feeling deep affection for and to like or enjoy very much. You know, in this day and time, in our society, we see a lot of things going on in the world. If you watch the news at all, I try not to watch it too much, but I do watch the news because I can't be oblivious to everything that's going on in the world. There are a large number of people who are lashing out in the events that they are experiencing. There's a lot of empathy, though, also, and sympathy. You know, we had, I don't know if any of you know, if you listened or watched the news, but we had a large apartment complex in Miami crumble, leaving so many people unfound. They are still going through the wreckage right now. And when we think of those things, we pull together as a community and send out that healing and that love to those people who are suffering from the loss. Because we know as spiritualists that those people who have passed to the spirit world are not suffering. It's interesting when you look around and you see all of the things that are going on in the world, the riots, all of those things, you know, if we can get caught up into that, we can get caught up into that energy, can't we? How many of you started to feel that at some point in time when you've listened or heard something on the news? You felt that angst, you felt that anxiety, you felt that frustration, perhaps fear and anger. You see, these feelings and thoughts are always within us. We can go either way. We can go with love or we can go with anger. It is your choice. And isn't it wonderful that as spiritualists, we teach personal responsibility so that if you don't like how you're feeling, what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're saying, you can change that. Many people in the world are very divided right now. A lot of the times when we have I'm going to say this past pandemic, a lot of people, maybe it's current because now we have a new variant out, but the societal anxiety and angst and stress with having to deal with crisis on a daily basis is felt. Many of us know people who've been exposed to this COVID virus or the Delta, or maybe we don't know them yet, but maybe they are going to be exposed. And that can cause feelings of empathy and sympathy also in us. And when people start the rioting and they start all of that expression of anger that has been pent up in the past year because they have had no outlet. They could not go out. They could not see friends. They could not do these things. And they felt like they were being controlled. So once the mandate started to lift for masks, people felt like, oh, I'm free. I can do it now. I can do everything I want to do. But all that pent up anger inside of them came out. And that is why we started seeing rioting, and we started seeing those things going on in the world today, because they don't know how to outlet that in a constructive way. But I digress. Maybe they do, but maybe they chose to do the way that they did. A lot of this stems from our upbringing and how we were brought up. If we were brought up in an angry home, always having to fend for ourselves, always being told that we're not good enough, this can affect how we view our world and the things that we put forth in that world. And the opposite is also true. If we were brought up in a very loving home, we tend to see the world very differently. We see it through eyes of love and positivity. Now, I'm not saying that your parents were always positive or negative, because there's a balance, and some days are good and some days are bad. And I know that we've all experienced those emotions, and that is normal. That is healthy to experience them. But what we don't want to do is express. We don't want to react to that. When we were reading the definitions of spiritualism, and a spiritualist is one who molds his or her character from the highest teachings derived therefrom. You know, when we try and we exert effort in growing ourselves and learning and comprehending not only the physical laws of nature, but the spiritual laws of nature, natural law, it works all the time for everybody. You can see that when you're in a bad mood and you go home to your spouse or significant other, or maybe even just a pet. They can tell when you're not in a good mood, or they can tell when you're off. And I have a little dog, and I am telling you, she is unconditional love. I can come home and I could have had a horrible day, and that little dog comes up to greet me, wagging her tail, just so happy to see me. And it shifts your energy right away. We can do that for each other. We can send that love out. We can send that healing out to others. We have to first start within, though, because as within, so without. So when you start to grasp on to the energy from those around you, from the news, from all of that, you can't help but take it in, because you're human and you're seeing these things affect human beings. But I challenge you to remember our seventh principle. We make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. This is really nice when we recite this, and it feels good, just like when we recite our Declaration of Principles. But there was a lot of thought given into this. There were people who absolutely loved spiritualism, and they did their best to try to bring about the highest and the best for all of us in these declarations. Everybody in this world wants to hear that they are loved and appreciated, and that they are heard. And I think sometimes when we forget, or when we negate people's feelings, that causes anger. It causes upset. But when we let people know that they have been heard, and that we are truly listening to what they're saying, then we can send them love and compassion, which is what spiritualism is about. It's about the love that we feel from those who have passed to the spirit world, who come down and still love us now. It's for those in the physical that we show love to. We are so blessed to have spiritualist churches, because I can tell you that every church that I have been honored to serve has been a very loving, affirming place. And I will tell you, especially this church, I love Las Vegas. Wish I lived closer. I love my church also, don't get me wrong. But when you can join together as a group, there is strength in numbers. There is strength in the power that we have as spirit beings first, encased in a physical body. Do we let those thoughts that come in permeate our being? Do we start to buy into all of that? Or do we say, wait a minute, I have free will and free choice. I can choose to respond any way I want to. Is it easy? Not sometimes. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes we get so caught in that energy that we feel like we can't get out. And that is the time that we stop and we step back and we start to go to our teachings in our mind, in our hearts, and in our souls, knowing that we are all connected. Each and every one of us is connected because we are all spirit. We're all in this physical body just to move around this earth. It makes it a little easier when you have tools. It's kind of hard to build a house if you don't have tools, right? Not that I build houses, but I can imagine it would be hard. I've seen some going up, and it does not look like an easy job, especially roofing here in Florida. I know you in Nevada have that hot weather too. And I look at those people up there on the roof and I'm thinking, how can they tolerate this heat? But they have a goal, they have a purpose, as do we. Our goal on this earth and our duty is of service. And that's service to each and every person. Sending that love, sending that vibration, taking a few minutes every day and sending healing. When we take time for ourselves and we step back and step away from everything that's going on in the world, and through meditation, we connect with that divine spark inside of us, I guarantee you will start to feel a change. That change starts in you. And it's not going to be grandiose. You're not going to go out into the world and give everybody a hug. Well, probably can't right now, but you're not going to go out in the world and just feel like you're an angel flapping their wings. It doesn't happen that way. You have to do the work. Spirit is there to help you. But you have to ask. You have to go to that still, small place within inside of you. So many of the times we are focused on the external that we don't look internal, because that's where the divinity is. It's actually hidden within you. It's not up in the sky. It's not outside of you. It is inside you. And to reach in and to touch and to grasp that information from Spirit is priceless. In this day and age, more so than in the past. It seems like our world is kind of very chaotic and topsy-turvy right now. But we can change that. You say, well, how can I make a difference? Just by doing your meditations and sending out that love and that energy and those thoughts of compassion. If you meet somebody who's going through a difficult time, let them know, hey, I'm here for you. Can I help you? Is there something I can do for you? Sometimes it's just giving a smile. And just because you're wearing a mask doesn't mean people can't see your eyes smile. They can tell, they can feel that energy from you. Once you change your internal energy through thoughts, meditation, prayer, going within, learning who you truly are, then the world around us will change. We as spiritualists believe in the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if we would live that principle every day and shine our light, our energy, our love, people will feel that. They have to. It's part of the law of vibration. That is part of our key to success and happiness. How many of you know what a tuning fork is or have heard of a tuning fork? Okay, so when you strike a tuning fork, it vibrates, and it vibrates at a certain rate. And do you know that if you pick up another tuning fork and you put it near that tuning fork, it will start to vibrate at the same rate? That's pretty powerful information, because that's showing us that as we shift and we get in tune with that love and that energy from spirit, that others are going to feel that. Is that to say that you're always going to be upbeat? No. Is it to say you're not going to have any problems? No. But if you recognize and tell yourself, I'm going to feel it, I'm going to know it when I'm out of sync, when I am out of balance, when I am not keeping an even mind. Pay attention. Then you can put the reset button and you can go back. And the more that you do that, the easier it gets. Because then your body stops trying to find fault and find argument and find things that are completely out of our control. Because let me tell you, you can't control anything outside yourself. Nothing. But you can control you. And in touching in with that part of yourself, when you send out that love and that healing, people feel it. That is where your control lies. Your control lies in the choices that you make, the changes that you make on a daily basis in your life. We are not perfect. Nobody here who is on this earth plane is perfect. Some people think they are. Some people think they're pretty close, but we're not. We're here to live and to learn and to grow and to touch as many people's spirit as we can. It doesn't matter if you like the person or not. They're still spirit. You can send that love out to their spirit. I had something interesting. As Lynn said, I was a nurse. I am still a nurse, but I worked in the emergency department. And we had a lady who was very upset who came up to the desk. She brought her, it was a 4 or 5 year old young boy in with an earache. And she said it had been going on for about a week and a half, and she just didn't know what to do. So I took her back to a room and I put her in the room and I said, okay, the doctor will be with you shortly. Well, working in an emergency department, you never know what's going to happen. So of course we got 3 or 4 traumas in, overdoses, and I was not able to get back to the room to let her know that we hadn't forgot about her. She came up to the desk, to the nurse's station, and said, "Have you guys forgot about me? I've been sitting back there." I said, "No, ma'am, I'm really sorry. We've had some trauma cases come in, and our attention has been there. I promise you we will get with you as soon as we can." So she stomped off back to her room. And I thought, you know what? That poor woman has probably been through crying every night, weeks on end, with this child who has an earache. And if any of you are parents or have grandkids, well, you'd have to be a parent if you had a grandkid, right? I was just seeing if you were awake. If you have children, you know that when they're hurting, you're hurting. You can feel that. You have empathy with them, and you have that unconditional love. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to connect with her on a different level, not on a physical level, on an emotional and spiritual level. And I'm going to send her love. And I'm going to send them both healing. And I did that all inside myself. Nobody knew what I was doing. And not more than 15 to 20 minutes later, that woman came up to the desk and said, "I'm really sorry that I was so angry. I just haven't had any sleep, and I just don't know what else to do." And I said, "I understand. Let me see how far you are down in the line, and we'll see if we can get the doctor in to see you and your son." Immediate switch. Well, 15 to 20 minutes, I call that immediate. But all I had to do was recognize that she was a part of me and her child and everybody else in that emergency department. When you address the infinite in people, when you touch in with that divine spark, people can feel that. When you send them love and you send them peace and you send them joy, they feel it. They have to. Some people aren't used to receiving that. Some people may say, "Well, I didn't feel anything." But we know that healing and love goes where it is sent. It is vibration. It has to. It's a law of vibration. Just as you drop a pebble in the pond and the ripples go out. When you sit and you love and you send love and you get to that part within yourself, then you'll be able to share that with others. Sometimes we have to get through a lot of garbage in ourselves to get to that love, though. And that's okay, because our whole purpose here is to love and to grow, strengthen each other. Once you start that and you start manifesting that out, the world will change. Look for it. Look for it. Because you'll see it in the people around you. A lot of the times they'll say to you, you seem different. What's different about you?" They notice it. They feel that energy. When you come home from work or you're seeing your boss and you're frustrated, stop. Take a few breaths. Breathe in that white light, that energy of spirit that is pure love. And send that to them. Surround them in that white light. Surround them with love. They will respond. Keeping that peace and that love in your heart. And remembering the law of vibration. Knowing that if you send it out, it's going to come back to you. How wonderful is that? Who doesn't need more love? I can't think of anybody who's like, "Oh, nope, I'm done. I've had enough love. I can't take any more." We all want that love. We all want to feel that acceptance, that camaraderie with each other, that connection. that validation that we do matter. Each and every one of us matters. When you're starting down that path and you know that things are not looking good, you can stop, radiate love, watch everything around you change. Plants and animals actually are a really good indication of this. How many of you sing to your plants? Talk to your plants? Okay, well, I do. Yes, thank you. They feel it. They feel that energy. They feel that vibration. Your animals, when you give them love, how happy are your animals when you pet them or stroke them or love them, or when they jump up, you just snuggle with them? They're happy because they feel that energy. And sometimes they hop up in your lap when you're not feeling good so that they can give you that energy. Because they can sense that. They can feel that. They can tell. So what we have to do as human beings and as spiritual beings is to spread this radiation, spread this love, spread this connection that we all are connected. And when you're hurting, I'm hurting. Let me give you some of my love and some of my joy and some of my energy to help you. I hear you. I see you. And you are loved. I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing that in every one of you. And I want you to know that you are loved and you are appreciated and you are valuable. You are an intricate part of this world. And I am seeing that in each one of you, because each one of you will share that love with the people around you. And then that will spread. And then that will spread. And then that will spread. And before you know it, your whole environment will change. And even if people are not happy when you're not there, when you come in the room, they will be happy. Because they're feeling that from you. You know, spiritualism is a religion. It is a science and it is a philosophy. Let's live those principles. Let's live with natural law every day. Because that's part of doing our part, like we say in the healing prayer. That's our part. Go to all those around you and spread this love. God bless you all.
Thank you, Sharon, for that valuable reminder. I think there's never enough love to go around. This is the time in our service for our love offering, followed by our announcements. If you would please join me now in our offertory prayer. Infinite intelligence, we accept these gifts of love that will help us in continuing to deliver the messages of spiritualism. We ask your blessings upon these gifts, the givers of them, and all who seek to assist us in keeping this church a lighthouse for the seeker of truth. Amen. We continue to accept love donations by cash or check to the address there on the screen. We also have PayPal available through our website or through the link displayed on your screen or in the chat. And thank you again so much for your continued support of Spiritualist Desert Church. Our church remains physically closed at this point in time. Our board of directors and the pastoral committee are available if you have need of assistance or if you have questions or if you're interested in membership. Please reach out to us via any of the methods that are listed on the screen. We have a weekly newsletter that also has contact information on the last page. And if you'd like to be added to our email list, please also let us know that. Recordings of all of our Zoom services are available on our YouTube channel. If you simply search Spiritualist Desert Church, you will find us. We always like to acknowledge visiting workers that we have with us. Today we have the Reverend Vicki Holman, we have the Reverend Paula Molino, and we have the Reverends Brad and Betty Goslin. Welcome to all of them. This Thursday, July 15th, is our next development circle. It's at 5 p.m. Please get there a few minutes early if you can, because we do close that room like immediately after 5 p.m. Next week's speaker will be the Reverend Paula Molino. We look forward to that. As we move into the healing portion of our service, we invite you to join us in a healing meditation led by Louise Barkdahl. Louise serves as the secretary on the board of directors of Spiritualist Desert Church and is a co-chair of our pastoral committee. If you would please join me now in the prayer for spiritualist healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Amen. And now Louise will lead our guided meditation.
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank all those who have been able to attend today in the physical, as well as all those in spirit that come in and spend time with us, support us, and love us. For the next few moments, there's nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else that you need to do. We're going to focus on healing, which is powered by love. So take a conscientious moment and set your intent on healing, on recharging ourselves. And then being in a comfortable position, feet on the floor if possible. Focus on your breathing. Feel each breath. Inhaling deeply, exhaling deeply, and just focusing on the moment, on that breath, nothing else going on. And as you focus on your breath, consciously drop away the walls that each of us have built up around us in order to navigate this physical life. Let those barriers down. Letting them drop away. Opening ourselves fully to spirit, to that healing energy, allowing it a way to come in. Releasing any dis-ease. Letting go of negativity. And looking inside ourselves allowing ourselves to be able to receive that healing energy available to all of us, and knowing it will heal us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And as we are open to this healing energy, now as we breathe in, feel that white light coming in, seeping in through every pore, being breathed in into our blood, circulating throughout our body, circulating throughout our consciousness, through our mind, filling us with hope, with love, with peace, with harmony, and as we can feel all that, reach out a bit with your mind and feel the connection with spirit and with each other. Feeling that vibration as we attune each other and ourselves with each other. Again, breathing in that healing, restoring ourselves, recharging ourselves, refilling our batteries. And now, instead of receiving, think for a moment about giving it back out, sending that healing back out to each other and to others in the world. Because united like this, we are now a big pebble being dropped in the pond. And those big ripples will carry out, sending this healing out to all that need it. That in itself heals us even more. And now it's time to begin our return. So again, focus on your breathing. Deeply inhaling, deeply exhaling, returning our consciousness to the here and the now. Coming back and settling into our physicality. Settling in. Wiggling our fingers, wiggling our toes. Being back in the present and the moment. And as you're ready, please open your eyes. There we go. Back to the here and now. Ready to share our healing, our spiritualism, with each other, and with the world. Thanking our doctors, our chemists, and our healers. And ready for the rest of the day. God bless.
Thank you, Louise. We continue to maintain our healing list, and we send out absent healing prayers to everyone on that list on a daily basis. If you wish to add someone to our healing list, please send us an email request with their first name only. Please include your pets because they're our family members too. We now move into the message portion of our service. By definition, a medium is one whose organism is sensitive to vibrations from the spirit world and through whose instrumentality intelligences in that world are able to convey messages and produce the phenomena of spiritualism. A medium proves the continuity of life through evidence provided by spirit. Please understand that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. A psychic reads your energy. A medium brings through someone who lived here on the earth plane. It's also important to know that a medium is not a medical doctor and will not and cannot diagnose or prescribe. And please be aware that although we record our service for YouTube, the message portion of this service is not posted on that platform for public consumption. As our service comes to a close, we'd like to invite you to join us afterwards for a virtual fellowship when we unmute everybody and we can all talk and pretend that we're in the same space. And we would now like to ask the Reverend Sharon Watson to close our service with the benediction, if she would, please.
Infinite intelligence, we thank you for coming with us today. We feel your love and the love of those around us as we continue to progress and making sure that we all support and love one another. I ask a special blessing on each and every person who is here today. May they go forth and know that they are truly connected to infinite intelligence. Amen.
Amen. Wonderful service today. Thank you all for being here. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Have a delightful week, everybody, and please stick around after we stop our recording here.